not a YouTuber, just like making videos. And this one here, we're going to go into the social media circus that is the black man and the black female gender war. This may be a long video. There's a whole lot that I want to touch up on. And then, just sitting here watching these videos on YouTube. And I guess it makes for good theater. They put on this spectacle. Now, let me tell you, YouTube is a pretty racist place. Like, there's racism in the cracks and crevices of YouTube, you know what I'm saying? I guess they're trying to get rid of it, you know what I'm saying? Trying to regulate it and so forth. So, when you put on this behavior, when, black men grab and black female grab these videos and they try to discredit, the other person's argument, they both look foolish, and it just seems like little kids in kindergarten, they're arguing. And I'm a realist, you know what I'm saying? I like to think realistically about things. Now, when we talk about the black community, who's at fault? Is it the black man or black female? But I want to explore this question here. Is the black female the backbone of the black community? And that's a tough one. And some people say, well, the black community is a matriarch, that she's the backbone, so she has to take the blame for the fall and the disorientation, the dysfunction, and the malfunction of the black community. And I look at it this way. I look at it as the American society. I'm like, who's the backbone of America? I say the taxpayer. And the working class. Now, do they really have their druthers when it comes to, government legislator? Who runs this country? Who makes the decision? The oligarchs, the people at top, the people who went to Ivy League schools, the people who grew up in very affluent neighborhoods. Even though they definitely don't represent the backbone of American society, they run the show. They can get America into all kind of trouble, unjustified wars, Wall Street, they pretty much do whatever the fuck they want. And that's my outlook of the black community. If you have this black female and she's like the stabilizer there, she's the support unit. And that means other factions like the black men can go off and, pursue his frivolous rap career and sell dope and do things, and not to have to worry about or have the pressure of building a family, building this black magical kingdom, which I'm going to continue to refer to it as that, because I don't think that's ever going to happen. And that's because when I go inside the black community, and I look at these jobs and, a lot of the mediocre jobs, and there's mainly black females working at them, McDonald's, Popeye's Chicken, sometimes the gas station, the Walmart. And this is not me saying, the black man is lazy or whatever. I see a lot of black men as bus drivers, security guards, and construction workers, and so forth. So I don't think any person is lazier than the other person. And when it comes to the welfare and that whole entire program, that only pays half the way. But these guys, on YouTube, there's some of these guys that say that we want to build this strong black nation. We want to build the magical black kingdom and so forth. And the black female just don't want to cooperate. I'm like, that's a bunch of bullocks. That's a pipe dream. There's no way you're going to convince me that you have all these black dudes lined up, ready to build the nation, and the female don't want to fall in step. No, that's unrealistic. Realistically, if a black dude got his scruples together and he wants a wife and family, then that's going to happen. You know what I mean? He's going to have that, just like the men in my family, just get a job. I'm like, you can't worry about black people as a whole. You're not we're not all going to make it. There's no cure for poverty, especially in a capitalistic society. Now, what I'm saying? No, but when we go into the decadent black neighborhoods, when you have this crime and so forth going on, then we want to know, well, who's to blame? Who's to blame for this, all this crime and that? And when we go into accountability, a man does have to take he has to take responsibilities for his action. If not, then that man is a beast, and so forth. And it overall, it's like single black mothers versus deadbeat dads, and we say that the black female has to choose a better dick and so forth. And I say that is very inconclusive, especially here in America, that you have a 50% divorce rate. It's not that easy and simple. What I'm saying? People want to just shove down simple answers and shove simple answers in people's ears for very complex problems, and so forth. And the thing is, living as human beings, as mammals, that the black man is simply going to just strike fear into people's hearts. They're more aware when they see a black man walking down the street. Case in point, black men are more of a threat than black women. That's how society looks at it. Humans, as part of the mammal kingdom, we just is not going to look at a female as a threat. That's it's just that, it's just like that. And that's something the black man will have to deal with. Now we can sit up there and talk about the black female, she's raising kids, there's this movement going on, and I feel what they're saying. I look at people like the Divine Mother and Miss Archduchess as representing black women horribly, and nothing's being accomplished. Now, I do admit that there are black women, out there that's down for the cause. We look at the protesters, the Ferguson thing, that anytime that there's some sort of civil unrest, you do see black females out there on the front line. Now, a lot of people may say in this video, oh, am I simping, or I'm making this video to appeal to black women? Bear in mind, I'm me being realistic. I know that the black women bashers here, the greater men, have more black females that follow them, that listen to them and agree with them more so than me. Matter of fact, looking at my demographics, only 7% of my subscribers are females. I probably only have like 2 females that still watch my videos, so I have nothing to gain, I have nothing to lose. I look at things realistically. I'm not I look at it as just kids, just arguing, having a little this freaking frat. But I would say that the black men are going on YouTube, social media, that the black man is going harder on the black female than the female is on the black man. Sure, females are putting up pics of of white men with black women and the same old pictures over and over again, saying that black women should leave and dump black men and move on and so forth. And I feel that if somebody did want to move on, they would do it already. They wouldn't sit around and say so. But I look at it like this. The black man is the black female. The black female is the black man. I'm like, you had a 50% chance of being born the opposite sex. So all these black men griping about the black women, I say to them, I'm like, if you was born a woman and there was a 50% chance that you would have, would you be like these females you're complaining about? And to the women, if you was born a man, would you be one of these men complaining about the state of black women? And I leave it at that. But I sit back and I try to be a social media scientist of some sorts, and I really pay attention to information and pay attention to people's behavior. And I'm like, man, this is a mirror image I'm seeing. If I see it, other people have to see it. Tommy Sotomayor, And I think about him and how he has a lot of the mannerisms, the attitudes, and like the snappiness and the rolling of the eyes, just like females. And I hate to use that whole "all you have effeminate traits," but the ability not to reason, the ability when somebody traps you in a corner and they want to question your logic, and the way he just reacts and just want to cuss people out and hang up the phone. I'm like, what is that? You did not handle that situation with an acute mind. You just, you just spazzed out. You acted irrational and over emotional things that we superimposed on women. And I look at these, and I think that you can't help but realize that a lot of these guys, they have a lot of disdain for women. That put these videos up. They want to look at it as them being logical and say, "Oh, I'm calling out. We need to call out these ratchet women's behavior." And I'm looking at it and I'm like, what is there to call out? I'm like, you just put a video up and that's it. But I think it goes far beyond that. They use this kind of like this scapegoat. Oh, we're only going after ratchet women. No. I see that through. That's like a white person putting up videos of black people being very bilious, rambunctious, and tearing down their community and crime, and they say, oh well, we're only pointing out the black criminals. We're not. If a black person, as if he's not living this lifestyle, then he should not be offended. But then they're using words like savages and monkeys and beast, and then I'm like, no. You have a clear. What it is a clear agenda, and nothing's getting accomplished. Now, as far as the black female being the downfall of the black community, nobody has put forth infallible evidence, supporting their claim. It's just hearsay. It's them going on their little emotional tirade, so forth. I'm like, as I said about white supremacy, even though women are a part of it, you had queens that had slave ships, European queens, Queen Victoria, sanctioned slave ships and so forth. And, black, white women crying rape over black men, getting them strung up. But still, when you look at white supremacy, you're just going to look at the white man, he posed the bigger threat and so forth. And when you're looking at cleaning up the black community, you're going to look at the black man, you're not going to put, because as I said before, as human beings are mammals. We're not insects. In the insect kingdom, women, the female insects rules. But in the man kingdom, the man rules. And I look at it as an ultimatum. I'm like, I did a video called Black Men Love Their White Daddy Too. And in a lot of these situations, the black man can live out his childhood and never reach adulthood and be a man. And and still walk around like some sort of king in the black community. That's how I look at it, because this white man, big daddy government and so forth is providing, the food, the essentials, to survive. The basic essentials to survive. That's food, clothing, and water. And then these black men can pursue their hip hop and their rap career. And so forth. But there's no way you're going to convince me that the black man is ready to build his black magical kingdom and black females aren't willing to cooperate. No. And I look at it as the black man and the black female wanting so desperately for the attention and the affection of their slave master. The same way I look at how they say the black woman, she wants to fall in check when it comes to the white man and so forth, and how she really has admiration for him. But I look at it the same way with the black man, with the white woman. Now you may say, well, if the white man, he controls everything, he was the one who initialized the racist attitudes and so forth. But the white female fell in check and so forth. It's like she stood by his side while he built his white supremacist power structure. She has a lot to benefit from it. And both parties, just look like fools here on social media. I'm like sitting around grabbing clips of what somebody did and then using it against them. Man, it just seems like a complete dysfunction. And people on the outside looking at it, I'm like, man, look at this, man. These guys are completely bananas. You know, these guys are nuts. You know what I mean? The black community is just so unstable. I don't know, just to see them literally put their gender war out here on Front Street and so forth, it makes both parties seem weak. And it really makes the black man seems weak because he is supposed to be a leader. And I'm not going to believe this idea that the black female won't let the black man lead. So I'm like, what? No, I don't see. Like, if a black man wanted to be a leader, he'll just have him a wife, have him a family, and just live wherever he wants in the world. As I said before, I grew up in the military. You know, and when a female marries, and at the time, 30% of the military were blacks. You know, at the time I know that number is dwindling now, but at the time, 30%. Now, we're talking about the 80s and the 90s. And that when a black woman marries a serviceman, she has no choice but to let him lead, because she has to go wherever he goes. If he's going over to Panama, she has to go over there. If he's going over to Korea and and all these other places, she has to go right along with him. So what they're saying is inconclusive. What they use, they just draw from you know what I'm saying, certain scenarios and so forth, you know, and then just using the black females as an scapegoat. Like the black female, she likes these thugs, she only wants thugs. That's also false. Sure, there's a lot of thugs knocking them up, but you have a lot of Hotep guys, you know, these God, Wisdom, Cipher, 5%, Knowledge, Wisdom, Circle 7, released the Kraken type black men. Black man originally came from Mars. Yaku, the white man, was created by a mad scientist in some island. They also, you know what I'm saying, I have a friend, he's a good friend of mine. The dude has a lot of charm. Like my friend, I'm going to call him Ray. And this dude's a smart guy. You know, he's very smart. He knows a whole lot about mathematics, straight math, algebra, and things of that nature. And he was telling me how black people should know more about math, and that black people generally don't function well in math. But, you know, at one point in time, you know, and he was a very dashing looking black man. Most females would consider him that. You know, he was smart, he was tall, you know what I'm saying, average. I'm like, he has the ability, he has the, what I consider the stop and stare factor. That females will stop and stare at him, you know. I'm like, you know, I wish I had this. But, you know, he was smart. You know, he's been in the military. He was ex-military. He had a lot going on. Two parents. Actually, his parents had money. And, you know, he was far from a thug, you know. And he used to also dress really weird, to the point where people used to think, they would assume that he was gay because he would wear scarves and the way he dressed. But this guy, you know, he has, like, he even said himself that he doesn't know how many children he has by different baby mothers. That, you know, there's like 2 females over here that they possibly could have his child. The child could be his, but he has 5 that he knows for sure that is his. You know, I'm like, some of these black dudes can't keep their dick in their pants, and it goes both ways. It's like they say that that a black man who has a multitude of children by various women have no problem just getting another woman. You know, that they don't look at that as a strike against them. The same way, if a female has children by multiple men, she can still, if she looks good and has a big ass, she can still rear in a black man. You know what I'm saying? Reel him in. You know, it's just how it is. You know, and that being said, and I know a couple of these guys, you know, call them Hotep, call them Egyptologists, you know, these black dudes that's, you know, that want to speak all esoteric, that also, you know what I mean, has these multiple women. So and we do know that, look at Brother Polite. When people say the black female is not going to willing to fall in, we know Brother Polite has a, you know what I'm saying, he has 4 wives, you know, polygamy. He has 4 wives. They seem well disciplined. You know what I'm saying? They all wear their natural hair. So no, that what they're saying is a complete lie. And so forth. They're just using certain examples. You know, they have, you know what I'm saying, they're very selective in their information. But you know what I'm saying? But my friend Ray there, you know, who's he's a devoted Muslim now. Eventually he got his chops together, you know, and then he ended up lucking out and finding him a tenderoni. You know, because this dude is like, I think 44 now, and I think he found the female that's like 24, 25 with no kids, and he's gonna kind of like start over. No, he know he's kind of messed up, you know, but now he just found him a real nice tenderoni, Ethiopian woman, you know, and it's just gonna start a family, just start over with her. And I think he already got 2 kids, you know, like he got his life together like maybe 8 years ago, and I think he got 2 kids by. So I don't know. This guy has I'm like he has a whole entire daycare of kids, and he's not a thug. You know, so I'm like, some of these black men, they just have charisma. You know, I can't blame the black female or whatever. It's just, you know, how it is. You know, like these black men are going to get theirs. Now I understand a bad boy in the black community, a bad boy in the black community is different from a bad boy in the white community, but females do gravitate towards these bad men. And also you have to look, here in America, a white female or a black female, whatever, really does not need a man, you know, to survive. She does not need a man to excel in her career. You know what I mean? A woman can get her own car and crib and all this other thing and simply have men for play toys. You know what I'm saying? That's why you have this whole cougar sensation going on with white women, but yet nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about all the white teachers having sex with their students. And I'm like, and that's an epidemic. But of course, people, if it was black women, yeah, dudes would be tripping over themselves, making videos about it. But going to the bad boy scenario, you know what I'm saying? Black men and black female has glamorized the black thug. Let's put it that way. The hustler and the pimp, you know, the black man and the black female has set in admiration of them, you know, or to a certain extent. But you know, I know the bad boy in the white community is, you know, as a dude who probably has tattoos on and rides a motorcycle, and he may have a job, he may be a mechanic and so forth, you know. But there are white females out there that are messing with white criminals. I can run down some examples. I don't want this video to be too long and it just seems like I'm just rambling, because you pretty much get my point of the downfall of the black community falls on the shoulder of black women. You have to give me more. You have to give me, you know what I'm saying, impervious evidence. You know, you have to have an impervious dissertation to really convince me, especially when I go out here and I see all these knuckleheads running about. You know what I'm saying? It's like their playground. You know, and I would say that men, generally poor men, are more likely to abandon their family because they just don't want that pressure of living in poverty, of seeing their kids wearing the same clothes, not being able to provide for their family. It's too hard. It's too disheartening for a man, you know what I'm saying, to sit there and see his own family struggle. And man, he would rather just bounce out. Let's go for black men and white men. That's why back in the days you had shotgun weddings. But you know what I'm saying, if a man has a good job and he can be a great provider and he can have, you know what I'm saying, have health insurance for his whole family and so forth, have credit cards and good credit, he's most likely going to be a good father, you know. And you can't find a cure for poverty, not in a capitalist society. I know we talk about this black enchanted kingdom that we're going to build, where there's going to be no black criminals. Yeah, no black criminals, no black poverty, and all these booming black businesses, and we're gonna we're gonna get all the resources that we need to secure these resources, and we're gonna secure these magical gems and rubies and, you know, the sacred jewels. Yeah, some of these guys sound funny, and he's going for both the pro-black, because I'm criticizing both the pro-black black dudes and the so-called liquors. The arguments just sound just ridiculous. And some of it, I'm not saying, on both camps, some of them have valid points. I'm not going to discredit everything, but you know what I'm saying? It's on YouTube here, it's about views. And people are going to say stuff just to garner the most views and the most attention. So you can't take too much of what anybody says seriously. That may be even going for me. But I like and so forth. And for a lot of black females, their way of escaping poverty, which or at least finding some sort of relief from the strain, is to get on social services. And they'll still have a job working at a fast food restaurant and so forth. But yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand. I've seen men literally abandon their families when the female is willing to do it. The female is willing to, okay, a female is like this. Hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to go and we're going to get this Section 8 housing and so forth, and then we're going to have this family, and then we're both going to get good jobs, and we're going to live there. But but the thing is, a lot of black men, this goes for black men, rich, educated black men, poor, educated black men, or men, period. It's just being, and women too, it's cheating, committing adultery, when it's available to you, and this may cause your whole family foundation to collapse. And a black man who's well established, have a nice car and have a good job and clean cut, black women or white women is definitely going to be attracted to him from all corners, because they're going to look at him as such an exception, as doing well compared to a lot of these black vagabonds. And then this black man has to be strong enough just to to resist temptation. So there's a whole lot of elements there that people are just leaving out. But I understand it's YouTube. People want to make a video, and they're going to leave out certain information and gravitate towards information that's going to help their narrative. And also find it funny that these guys, the greater men, these same guys that was blaming the black women and so forth and all this other stuff, these guys don't even preach a good family structure. These guys bash black women, and so how are you going to preach this black community needs to get together when you don't believe in marriage? When you feel that a marriage is a trap? Doesn't make sense. That's all I want to say. Thanks for watching, and sally forth.